that's another nice fish. Just managed to find them slightly deeper and actually feed them slightly less. I think if I really feed loads, the smaller fish are attacking it and it's not getting a chance to get down to fish of this size. And these are the fish you're after. Let's try and get another one. Trying to more feed now, almost one handful for every cast rather than 3 or 4. I mean, you definitely get less fish, but if you're compensating for that for fish of that size, then it doesn't really matter. Well, I've managed to hook an eye and he's stayed on. Well, actually, I'm not sure if that is an eye. Very hard to tell when they're sort of that size, cross between the roach and an eye. The upturned mouth slightly indicates that it is an eye. I mean, they go a lot bigger than this in here, but with no elastic for your whip, it's brilliant fun. Well, let's pop them in the net. I hope there's a few more out there. With fish of that size, it is easy to see how you can put a weight together on this. You really don't need many of them to start doing really good weights. Try to keep the feed going in. Seems to be sitting in amongst the smaller fish at the minute, the bigger fish. Struggling to pick them out. I'm sure there is something. If I keep changing, I might be able to string a bit of fish together. One thing that may be worth a mention, as you've seen there and probably in the video, is the way that when I get a fish I almost trap it against my chest. And the reason for that is you want to make sure that every single fish you catch is going in your keep net. If you grab the line and they're wriggling about, you sometimes don't get them, and trying to catch the fish as well is not always the easiest. If you swing them into your chest, followed by trapping them in behind you, you should catch every fish. When you're fishing against the match boys, try and compete with those. Every hand can be the difference between winning and losing, just something as simple as that. Missing a few bites. I think there could be a slightly bigger fish in the peg. It does always go a little bit quieter when that happens. Sometimes you just cut your feed back and the only thing in there is your hook bait. It will attack it. I'll just stop feeding for a little while. Missed a bite there. And I've managed to finally hook it. Don't think it's huge, but something like that may be enough to scare a few fish. Not everything's swingable, but make sure you keep your net handy as well so you don't lose your speed aspect that you're trying to keep into your fishing. Now you probably find as that fish is gone, I can pick the feeding up again and hopefully catch a few fish. Well, I think there's probably going to be time to call it the end of the session. The night's pulling in and I've managed to feed absolutely every single bit of my bait that I've got. Still getting the odd fish without feeding, but as I was saying about that aggressive feeding, probably fished for 2 hours and I've fed somewhere between 2 to 3 pints of bait. If I was going to guess my weight without looking, I'd probably say I've had 20 to 25 pound, which, as I said, you may not beat one of the best pegs on the lake, but you can probably do 60 pound of those catching at this rate, and that's going to beat most people around you in the bad sections. And 60 pound on a not such a good day will probably win you the match, so you can keep going and get a good weight of these roach. But I think we will have to call it a day. It's always nice to end a session on a fish, and there we go. Well, I think it's time to have a look in the net and see what we've got. Certainly a few nice fish in there, along with the small ones we caught as well. Let's have a look. Well, thanks for watching the latest episode from the water's edge. I know it's been quite a simple method, but you can see how effective it can be. Unfortunately, we don't have any bigger fish today, but I hope it's been just as enjoyable. We'll see you again on the next one.